Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to First Touch. Oh my goodness, I heard myself 2 times. Hope you guys enjoyed the Copenhagen Major, but guess what? We're back. Dazzard, Roll Diz, or Pajama Diz, and what does that say? Bates. I don't know what it says on your shirt,
It
but
says Burlow.
Burlow Bates. Oh, I like that. I like that. Gentlemen, how we doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Matter of fact, these are not pajamas. These are just it's just a flannel, a nice calm flannel. Texas got me looking a little different nowadays, but I'm comfortable. I'm real comfortable. It looks like y'all are pretty comfortable. I see Daz over there rocking the Gen G merch after the crazy performance they had. I think it was a really nice performance from North America, if I do say so myself. But I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. How we doing over there, Bates?
I'm doing fine, man. I was just having a nice conversation in the green room with everybody about how we should be coming in with the old intro at least, but everybody just wants to come in because everybody just mad that they didn't used to look good back in
Bro,
the
it's
day. So that's
Bun.
not my
No
problem.
one. How can you say no
it's
one
just
else
buns.
looked good? I look great, by the way.
No, I know I
Okay.
look great, so I mean I don't
I'm not
mind
ashamed
using it.
to admit that wasn't my best time, but
Listen, Chad, do you want to see the old intro? Let us know. I'd rather see a
Really?
new intro
Well, yeah,
versus the
but
old one. But
yeah, I mean,
personally,
yeah, a new intro would be nice, but first you gotta get to the new intro, you gotta get there. So
mhm.
in the meantime, we should at least be using the old intro.
Interesting. Let's see it right now. What you mean? Let's see it right now. You better go back and watch some old episodes, man.
Exactly,
Like, what
yeah,
are you
go
talking
exactly.
back.
about?
It was just a good way to
Nah,
introduce the show. It's just a good intro. It's like the ROCS not using the intro because they want to use a new intro. Maybe they are working on a new intro. I don't know. But they're not just gonna get rid of the old intro until they get the new intro.
Mm-mm. We'll keep tabs on the feedback. Let's see. We'll keep tabs on community feedback. Brack said Daz and Bates picking NA predictions over K Corp made me proud. Appreciate you, Brax.
Oh,
Look,
on the predictions? Yeah, man.
yeah.
I mean, listen, all the rest of the talent are just really boring. They all just want to pick the favorites every single time. Going into the next major, whoever the heck the favorite is, probably whoever wins the most regional EU, they're all gonna pick that team too. There's no spice, there's no life. I want to see some bold predictions. I tried to tell everybody that there's about 8 teams that could win that major. They didn't believe me. But once again, base became right. I didn't get my champion right at the end, but most of the part though, most in general, I was pretty accurate.
I would say that's pretty valid for the most part. I would say so. I mean, I had a little bit of fun in the prediction contest. I like picking the upsets. I mean, the Fury one was definitely a lot of fun for me on that day one. So yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's just breathe a little bit, have a little fun. Yeah, always gotta be serious all the time. But either way, the major was good. I definitely enjoyed it. But Raul, what was it like from your perspective during the watch parties?
I think that was the most exciting major we've had to date, and I'm excited moving forward because I think moving forward, the next majors, every single land moving forward is just gonna be a lot closer. And this, we'll get into the disappointments later on, but like I think some of the teams were a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit nervous going in. So I think moving forward in the next lands, we'll see a lot closer contested matchups, especially from the teams getting a lot more experience. So I think it was awesome overall for viewer experience. I was on the edge of my seat the entire the entire the entire playoff period, and yeah, it was great.
Listen,
You-
we get a pass for every single season. That's what happens when you come in flannel and not suited up. You forgets where he's at. But it was it was a good time. It was a good time, man. And I'm just really excited to talk about what's going on today because I'm interested to hear what Raul's thoughts were. Raul, me and Demar, we'll go back. Well, Demar, we'll go back and listen to it, listen to y'all's watch parties. But Demar also really loves to listen to himself, so he's mainly going back to listen to himself during the cast. But he also want to listen to what y'all had to say too.
of
So it's kind of a
course.
wombo combo right there. And y'all's watch party is really fun. UT Shock, and as for and they all even had Boston in there for the G2 Vitality, so that was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. It's gonna be interesting getting into some great analysis, some great games, some great breakdowns. We got Big Itachi coming on very, very soon. We got another guest coming on very, very soon as well. He's not on the he didn't get announced, so we can keep it as a surprise. So that's why I said another guest. Why you made that face tomorrow. He's about to come on in like 2 seconds. And then
No,
also,
not that. I was
and
reading
then
chat.
also, yeah, we got the FT top 10. We're gonna talk about top 5. We got a lot going on in this show. So make sure you strap in, buckle up, because it's gonna be a great FT episode.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. He's absolutely right. Um, yeah, I see a lot of people in the chat. Thank you for all the nice words. We definitely like appreciate all that stuff. But yeah, like Bates said, it's gonna be a good show today. Of course, Tachi will be on later. Bates already kind of gave you guys a little bit of the rundown, but let's kind of jump right into the conversation. Before we do that, of course, we got to bring in a guest that we've had on the show before, who definitely I feel like he really enjoys a little time to not be in the hosting segment, actually being able to give us opinions and thoughts on a lot of things going on in the scene. So we're gonna bring back WaveyP, WavePunk here. You're gonna be joining us. WavePunk, how you doing?
I'm doing. Look, I am very glad to be here with you guys.
What's on your screen?
And not the host. That's not on me. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
What is?
I was looking down at that. I'm bringing a virus on the show here. I don't know about that one.
All right, hold on. We'll fix that. We'll fix that. I don't know how that happened. All right, there we go.
Wow. All right, now I'm here. I'm exhausted. I'm the jet lag. I slept like an hour last night, so the jet lag's been ruining me. I don't know how you guys are doing, how you guys are holding up, but I'm also mad. I'm upset. Who do the Gentlemates think they are, man? What is this? Like we had so many good stories coming into Copenhagen, like so many ongoing stories, so many magnificent rosters of like main characters like ready to go and to compete. And like there was like every team had a story, right? We could say you're like run them all down. You had like, like the OCE, like finally like consolidating power, like maybe they'll finally get out of the Swiss. You had like Elevate and SSA and Limitless, like trying to like they're genuinely making moves, genuinely leveling up their game for the previous events. But like there was really three stories for me that we expected to see like all 4 days of the competition, all the way to Championship Sunday. You had Vitality, undefeated, reigning world champions, undefeated on RLCS lands. Yeah, they had looked shaky online, but these guys literally have not lost a land since they formed as a roster in RLCS. An RLCS land as a roster here. Can they bounce back? You had Europe versus the world with like G2, Falcons, and Furia, unlikely allies here. They were all looking at Europe and going, screw these guys. Like, we're going to show you that we are here to play. I've heard enough about Europe. And so successfully, all three of them avoided each other. We didn't play each other at any point. So we had this amazing story coming through there. But the problem was Europe at the top, right? And the biggest and baddest threat from Europe, Karmine Corp. Sure, we've seen some rosters like by the numbers be more dominant in Europe in the past, but like never has the region been this like densely competitive before, and they still didn't lose. Like I'm gonna say, I casted the very first game of RLCS ever, and I'm telling you, from my opinion, I don't know if I've ever seen a roster be as like this, like brutally lethal through the entirety of the online season. They were so strong, and they've got Farah behind them, who's on this like crazy streak. What a story. So excited at all that. You know what? Going into Championship Sunday, all three of those stories, Vitality, Europe versus the world, Karmine Corp, like all of them still alive. It's great. We're thriving. One of them's going to come true, right? Surely one of them's going to come true. There's just this little small little problem of like this like one little EU team that like we all kind of like just like nobody was paying attention to. Like, surely they're going to lose, right? Like, I swear that's what half of us were thinking. We're like, surely we don't have to talk about them. We don't have to predict them because they're just going to lose. And they'll be like, yeah, we were right that we didn't predict them, right? And like, I'm just going to say it. I didn't believe that they were going to do it. I didn't believe it after they beat Falcons, after they beat BDS, after they beat Genji. They had Karmine Corp in front of them. I still didn't believe, and I didn't want to believe. I wanted to see one of those great stories that we had been building over like multiple seasons reach like a satisfying arc conclusion there in Copenhagen. And you know what, gentlemen? It's like you just formed. You just formed. You can have a story build in Copenhagen, but like you can win like next event, or like you can make like grand finals at Worlds and like lose and then like win like the first major of next season or something like that. You can start to build your story, right? But like we've been cooking here for a long time. Let us cook. You know why I'm mad? I'm mad because the Gentlemates looked at our narrative that we had built and said, we don't care. You know why they don't care? Because they're literally just better. They are, without a shadow of a doubt, the best team in Rocket League in the world right now. They disrupted the scene in a way we haven't seen it's like since Northern Gaming, and in Northern Gaming, like that was the very beginning. Like we didn't know what we were even looking at that point. Like this is unprecedented. They came in and said they forced us to look at them. They forced us to pay attention to them. And if anyone wants to say like, oh, they had like 1-goal games, yeah, they went to Champions Field 2 times in 6 matches. Like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. They're the best team in the world right now. Seiko, Itachi, and Juicy. I'm astonished. I'm mesmerized. I believe now. Absolutely. Still mad about it though. Still mad.
That's a crazy rant.
I think
I'm also jet lagged.
Yeah, he said, "Hold on, let me cool this off. I think it's burning up real quick."
Wait, so what's the takeaway?
They're really good. I just wish I'm still like I feel like annoyed that like all those stories that were like going in like haven't concluded. Like they all of them were like, and then a new Pharaoh came who did not know Joseph and kicked the Israelites out. And it's like, but I need the promised land. Where's Moses? Like, I got to wait until London to find out, till I get the conclusion on the BDS story or the Karmine story or the Vitality story or like G2 or like Europe versus the world. Like all of those sort of feel like they didn't quite happen. I just wanted one of them to happen. And instead we have to deal with a new story, a new challenger that absolutely deserves to be in that spotlight. It's just, I'm also mad at us for not picking up on it earlier. I feel like at a certain point as a talent, you have to, like when there's 16 teams, you can't tell all the stories. You do kind of have to trust that the seeding and the like overdogs and underdogs are going to do what they normally do. And when when like Limitless wins a game against a European team or something, we don't immediately start to go like, oh my God, they're the best team in the world. They're amazing. Right? We trust that like they're probably still going to lose because that's just where they're at right now. That's how it normally works, right? And so I think we all just kind of kept hanging on to Gentlemates losing just a little bit too long, and I feel like we let them down. I feel like we should have told their story a little bit better. You can say it was an upset. You can say it was an underdog story, and yeah, we shouldn't have seen it coming, and it's fine that it was what it was. I still feel bad about it, though. I still wish we had like recognized how good this team was a little bit early in the tournament and started telling their story a little bit better. The fact that Gibbs is like the first person that predicted them in the grand finals, and I'm telling you, he's doing that just because he wants to win the prediction competition. That's how his brain works on Championship Sunday. So I don't know. Great event, amazing event. Still a little bit frustrated.
That's valid. That's definitely valid. Yeah, I think I mean there's definitely some truth in there too. Well, I mean a lot of it's truthful, but in terms of like just Gentlemates' I would say how much they were referenced on broadcast and how much attention to detail compared to other teams, you could definitely see that for a lot of people, and this probably was echoed at home too, that it was very like one-sided. Like
Yeah.
Gen.G playing against Gentlemates, people are more talking about how are Gen.G gonna do, not about how Gentlemates are doing or anything like that. Play against Karmine Corp, people are expecting Karmine Corp to win, so they're not even gonna go into that. Then they make it to the finals against G2, and then but by the time it's the finals, you can't start talking about a team all the way at the finals.
Yeah, we can't say like, oh, we started talking about them then. That's not started to talk about them. That's like we got caught with our pants down and like, oh, I guess they're here. They could win, and they did.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, let's talk about them right here, right now.
Let's do it.
Gentlemates win the Copenhagen major. They go flawless at Copenhagen. Let's throw up the Gentlemate I feel like this is interesting. I feel like it was unexpected for me. Like it was under the radar. Like I think I was always coming through with just seeing like other teams be the favorite, kind of similar to WavePunk, but I think you couldn't really. I would say after the Swiss, I started to be like, okay, well, hold up, Gentlemates might actually be doing something here, and then they kind of kept that trajectory on and on again. So it was definitely surprising for me for sure.
I see.
I think Bates is upset that they beat G2, huh?
I'm distracted right now. Talking about the highlights, man. I mean, Gentlemates played pretty good, bro. Gentlemates played pretty good, man. Look at Seiko, man. Oh, I was expecting that to be Itachi right there. Actually, I ain't gonna lie. Thought Itachi was coming in doing what he does, man. Coming in from out of nowhere, always being consistent. G2 almost had him though. Damn, look at Seiko, top right corner. That's like the same shot Monkey Moon scored on him too. So, and then G2, they weren't playing as good as they did against Vitality though. I think that much was obvious, but I think a lot of that goes to how good Gentlemates is playing,
You could definitely make the argument of like, G2 played earlier in the day and then had to sit and got cooled down. Gentlemates gets to ride the momentum. But the funny thing is like if G2 had won, we could easily make the argument the other way that like Gentlemates, succumbed to fatigue and G2 like came in fresh. Like it's funny how you can like build those stories either way. I mean, it really just comes down to like who showed up on the day in the moment, and it was these guys.
I mean, how much impact do you think nerves were into account? Because this is Daniel's first finals appearance at well, other than I guess if you want to count Gamers 8, but Daniel's first finals appearance. This is Beast Mode's first finals appearance, and also, well, Atomic's been here before, but I think nerves definitely play a factor. You got Itachi, who's won. Seiko's a world champion, and I think it was really all on Juicy to see how he was going to perform, and he obviously showed up. So I think it like nerves did play into account. I think G2 started off pretty slowly, and you really can't do it with a team that's been playing this consistent throughout the entire tournament.
I mean, Bates and I and Gibbs, there was a lot of arguments on the desk about are Daniel and Beast Mode LAN players, and going into Championship
that nonsense,
Sunday,
bro.
Going into Championship Sunday, Gibbs was like, hey, I'm telling you right now, I agree with you now, they are LAN players, but the reason that was a debate was when they first started playing on LAN, the first LANs we saw them at, they were pretty shaky, and then now they come into Copenhagen, they've got a lot of experience, they're less shaky. But to your point, Raul, like they get into finals, first time in the finals, that shakiness maybe comes back. I could see that being the case.
Yeah, it's a different beast. That finals is a different beast.
Yeah, G2 took their wins though. You still have to think, right? Making it to the finals is still big for both Daniel and Beast Mode. Yeah. But then even just for Atomic and Sathu, that quarterfinals against BDS is huge. That feel like they got a big monkey off their back with a win like that. And for them to be able to do it in a 6 as well,
I see what you did
I
there.
feel like
even though you didn't mean to do it.
I know.
Do it. I know you didn't mean to do it, but it was kind of fun.
They were over the moon about getting that win, guys.
That's right.
Yeah, right. And then they go on to take it down the defending world champions. They go all the way to 7. There's just so much reason to believe that G2 could have won that major. I mean, being pushed to the limits, being able to defeat people who have challenged them in the past. I do think that they'll be able to be more refined. I think you're right, Raul. They had a slow start, game 1, but also they also kind of got hit with the Gentleman special, the 1-goal games. Mayfield Knight 1-0. Game 2, 3-2 overtime. It was just overtime. When G2 did win, they would score 4 goals. Like it was huge, crazy wins. So I mean, you do have to give props to Gentlemen because when they did play good, they limited so many opportunities for the other side or just how strong that midfield presence is. And I think that does go more towards Itachi and how well he was playing.
We had that stat where they were like, both these teams like never wouldn't lose games if they scored first. And it was like we had like a spoilers going on. Like it was like in the finals, every time Gentleman scored first, it was like, well, I don't need to watch the rest of the game. They're just gonna lock it down. Like talk about good defense, right? A team gets up and then they're like, just lock it down on your own half. Don't let them in. We'll figure it out from here.
Nothing you can do at that point, man. It's just over. The game was over. When they scored first in game 6, I said it's over.
That's crazy.
And then they scored a second one. I said now it's really over. They're not gonna score 2 on them like that. It's just not gonna happen.
No.
They're just not gonna let them score 2. and it wasn't. Yeah, it's just over, man. They just played incredible defense, bro. There's that stat. I don't know how many series or games they played, but I think like it was only one of their games out of the however many was decided by one goal. Like all of them were basically decided by one goal. And that's just comfortable. That shows some comfortability in themselves and also confidence in themselves, because that means that you weren't panicking on defense ever. You weren't freaking out. You were just always consistent, always in faith with your teammates, always trusting your game plan. And when Itachi comes on, I want to hear him talk to that, because I mean, if you just feel at some point that would crack, but it just wasn't happening. They were just always just having faith with each other and always trusting one another.
Yeah.
And if you could do that, man, you could beat anybody at any time. So, and that's what they did. They beat everybody at that time.
They did super comfortable, super control. Mates beat Rule 1. They went on next round to beat BDS 3-1. They beat Falcons 3-0. I mean, the only team that by semis hadn't lost. Fury also went 3-0 Swiss, but they lost to Vitality in quarters. And then they go and beat Gen.G 7 games, K Corp 7 games, G2 6 games. They were just on that roll, always able to constantly adapt, and you could see it. Like it really did show. So definitely a well-earned victory for them.
I'm pretty sure there were, before this event, 9 players in the world who could claim that they had beat both Rise and Vateria on Championship Sunday. I think it had been Furia, Vitality. Oh, who was the other one? I had there were 3 rosters. Gen.G. Yeah, like it was, and like there's, you could count on your fingers how many people had beaten both of them on Champions Field too.
Goyo, did Moist play Karmine in Rotterdam? Who played Karmine to eliminate Karmine that day? Was that Rise? Did Rise eliminate Karmine?
No, wasn't Karmine in the finals? Am I crazy? No, that was Moist in the finals. The other blue team.
I think Moist might have eliminated them. Maybe, if I don't really remember. See, that shows how unrememberable all these quarterfinal games are.
I so wanted to predict Gentlemates against Karmine Corp, but it was Karmine Corp. It was like I just there's no roster I believed in more.
I mean,
that was the team I had to pick to win the whole thing, and they were doing so good. They just beat Falcons.
I know.
Gentlemates said no, sir. Still can't believe that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's pose the question to the group. Was this the best underdog run of all time? Gentlemates beat Falcons, Gen.G G2, and Karmine on the way to the title. Let's take a look at the Swiss stage. If you guys did not watch and needed just a little bit of a refresher, here is the Swiss matches for you guys. As you can see, Gentlemates there in the 3-0 spot. The top 8 in the Swiss stage went, I would say, as expected for the most part. But the way that all the teams got into the top 8 was definitely different than a lot of people had predicted initially going in. And then we can look at the bracket. Give me the bracket. Gentlemates, you can see their run again, just like we've been talking about. But they weren't the only teams that were going the distance. K Corp Falcons, Vitality, Furia, big game out of Vitality in that series. And then you saw G2's run there as well, which is also pretty strong run. So as we come back to us, definitely want to get the thoughts here. Raul, let's start with you.
I think it's up there. Another Wave mentioned it earlier. Northern Gaming is a shout, but I think there's one team that I think had a longer, deeper run than this team, and was not predicted as much as this team, and not even close, was the C9 lower bracket run. That nobody expected them to make that long run that they did in the lower bracket. I'm gonna have to go with C9.
Was that an underdog run?
It was.
You really think that they were like as much an underdog?
We didn't have them win.
No, I didn't have. No, we had Dignitas winning, but it was like. But also, just to clarify, it was 1 match longer. Well, I guess 2 matches longer if you count bracket reset in the finals. But
I just think like the double life, and then you have to go to the lowers, and you're starting from round 1 lowers and make it all the way to the finals to win.
Is that better than not losing? You lost one and then had to.
I think it shows resilience. Like
one's
one
at
shows
the World
resilience.
Championship.
That's true.
That's true. That's also true.
One was also taking down the reigning 2-time defending world champions.
Yeah, you can't take that away from them. That was
so
the ending of the streak. Dignitas was 17-0 across 2 different seasons going into that final. So it's pretty crazy.
There you go. That's all I need to hear. But in terms in terms of taking out C9, I think it does. I think this is the next best, because I mean everybody not everybody. I would say most people didn't expect Gentlemates to make it to the semis. I mean, some people maybe expecting to make it to the quarters. Then after that, lose to somebody, unless they're playing some NA team or something like that. I'm sure somebody can make some nonsense and say they would lose. They would beat all the NA teams anyway, so it didn't matter. But regardless, not too many people expect them to win. So the fact that they did it and the fashion in which they did it, I think this is the second greatest underdog run of all time. And I don't know, maybe it's hard to go up against the Cloud9 thing. Maybe Wave has a point where they didn't lose. That's factored in, but I just think that beating Dignitas in and of itself 2 times in a row, and then the fashion in which C9 did it, stomped them.
I just also think like you look at you go back to like rewind at the beginning of season 6 World Championships when we don't know who's going to win and be like, do you think Cloud9 has a shot? Like I'd be saying yes to that way harder than I'd be saying yes to. Do you? I think Gentlemates has a shot of winning in Copenhagen when you've got BDS, Vitality, Karmine Corp, G2, Gen G, Furia, Falcons. Like you're telling me that those 7 teams are there, and you're like, yeah, Gentlemates is the one I think that I could see making it all the way. That's hard for me.
I can see it. I can see what you're saying, but then I'm like looking back because I pulled up season 6, and I feel like the Cloud9 one is justified. I mean, NRG was number 1 seed at the time. Fireburner, Garrett, Justin. You still had Flipside with Mystic, Cookser, and then they had Yukio, and then We Dem Girls was looking good too. Like I do think Cloud9 did kind of slip under the radar on that one. They weren't. It wasn't like too wild considering other teams like the EG team or anything like that. But I think you gotta.
But I mean, you got to factor in the regular season too here, because like Cloud9 was tied with G2 at first at 6-1 that season. They were the best, and then
but nobody believed
playoffs. No, we believed in them. They just had playoffs, and then playoffs they lost in semis, and then won the 3rd place match. So like they had one bad day, and that's what gave them the 3rd seed. And so then you go back and look at that page, and you'd be like, oh, they were only the 3rd seed. Like, no, they were clapping people the whole season. They lost one game. What was the game they lost? They lost to FlyQuest 1-3 in week 4. But everything else, it was 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and then a 3-1 and a 3-2 against.
And yet Ghost. Not a single person was picking them to win, Wave.
I wasn't on the desk, so. Axel Toss will tell you he did predict them to win. He will never let you forget about it if you talk to him about it.
That's good for Axel Toss, man. That's good, man. I know Curly, Jordan, and Cheese all weren't. I remember
this is not predicting them is similar to like not predicting Gentlemates after they beat Gen G against Karmine Corp. It's like, yeah, they're looking strong, but it's the biggest, baddest team in the world that literally hasn't lost since NRG beat them upper bracket round 2 of season 5 World Championship. Dignitas hadn't lost since then. And now they're here, and you're like, you're going to predict Cloud9 to come from the under bracket, and it's yeah, I don't know. It's very comparable. There's a comparable there. I think I go Gentlemates on this one.
Ooh, wow, that's big. That's big. WaveyP's on the Gentlemates train. I think I still got to go C9 though. I feel like there's a chance for a bigger run that eclipses this. I think that if you have a run from a team that is like around the same seeding as Gentlemates, but like if Gentlemates did this at the World Championship, then I probably put it more in a conversation. But then
yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's major 1, so I'm like, I think it's good. I think it's real close. But that's kind of where I'm at with that one. Yeah. But I mean, either way, still
a great run. So I mean, listen, yeah. I wouldn't mind. I don't mind the first. I don't mind the second. It's up there though. It's one of the top 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Johnny calling out iBuyPower season 1 is also one of the most fluky, crazy results. I can't believe that
nobody
ever
cares
happened.
About season 1. How so long?
But coming in with a substitute player and beating Flipside in 6 games was there's no like who, how, why. It was also so picturesque that Kronovi, the face of the game, like somehow won. It felt rigged. But it was. You're absolutely right. It was season 1. It was like we were all still figuring
Everybody
out
was
how
plumbers and janitors out there jumping up and down.
Quick aerials was like an extended technique.
Plumbers and janitors, man. I hear that too much, man.
We didn't even know that you could reset your flip. Actually, I don't think you could at the time.
No, you couldn't. It wasn't in the game. Yeah. It's time to get Itachi on, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Let us talk to the man himself. 2-time major RLCS winner, 3 times RLCS qualifier winner. Gentlemates Itachi is going to be joining the show. Can we pull him in, please? Itachi, can you hear me? How you doing? Is he talking?
No, he's not.
Oh, he's muted in Discord.
He's
Unmute
muted in
Discord.
Discord.
Hello, Itachi.
There you go.
Hello, welcome. There you
Oh,
are.
there he is. There he is. Look at him. Listen, man. I just want to say this dude Itachi is one of the nicest people in the community, bro. And man, let me give y'all some backstory of what this man was doing to me tomorrow over there, though. Even though he was trolling us a little bit. so we over there in Copenhagen. This on Saturday. So you know, Gen G went up against Gentlemates. Gentlemates won, of course. Itachi and Seiko over there sat on the first row, over there to the left of the desk. And me and Demar sat there watching. Who was playing then? Was it G2 playing?
BDS.
Yeah, we were playing the G2 BDS were playing. And we over there sat there on the desk still watching. We look over to the left. Itachi and Seiko are smirking at us, doing a finger wag. No. Itachi talking about Corp G can't win. And then G2 was losing to BDS, and they were still doing the finger wag. And then at some point G2 started winning. And then me and DeMar look back over there, and what they have on their phones? What they have on their phones?
Yeah. So the way we were like, okay, well, G2 win game 2. We're gonna come around, we're gonna turn around and do the Jimmy Butler timeout. So then when we turned to do the timeout, they had their phones up, and I think Itachi's phone said luck, and Seiko's phone said NA equals near airport or something like that. It's just like, bro, it was so funny.
And then when G2 won, we went and looked at him, and they went.
We had to admit, like they played well. We had to admit it was a good series.
What up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Thank you for the invitation, by the way.
Of course. All right, Demar, let's get into it, man.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, I mean, everyone has asked you the question, just like, well, what the major win kind of means to you. But talk to me about the Swiss stage or even the bracket. When did you really feel like this major was yours? Were you guys taking it game by game, or did you always believe that from the start?
No, it's just like you said, we took it game per game, like even before the major start, like 2 or 3 weeks before in our preparation, how we worked to get ready for the major. We already knew we had what it takes to win it. And of course, like it's Rocket League, everything can happen. We can be the best team and not win it, and we can not be the best one and still win it. But we just came in. Our mentality was like to take each game at a time, and just let our story just getting written. Like if we have to win, we win, and if we lose, we lose. It's our fate. But since like we just want to work hard and put all the chances in our side.
Okay, cool. Gentlemen, by the way, if you guys have any questions, just jump in. Feel free to jump in. I'm just going to keep going. Talk to me about Juicy. It was obviously, his first time in a grand finals, but he played phenomenally over the course of the LAN. As you were playing with him for the first time as a team, what was it like just kind of watching him come into form and really start to, take control of some of these games?
Yeah, Juicy, as you said, it's one of his first lands. He doesn't have this experience. Like, for example, it was his first time making a top 4 and even the final and everything. This season, he went through a lot of new stuff. And to be honest, he managed it really well. Like, we are here to help him to understand those things, to manage the pressure. And to be honest, he did it really well. Like, obviously, he's a wonderful talent. Like, he played amazing, especially in Sunday. Like, the semifinal and the finals, he played amazing. And to be honest, he just making an amazing job at understanding. Every time we need to tell him what he has to work on to get better, he always listens and everything. So he's really a really good teammate and really proud of him.
Man, go ahead, Wave.
Did you feel like the Rocket League scene in general was kind of disrespecting y'all by like not thinking you had a chance to win this?
To be honest, those kind of things we really don't care about it. Like we don't even listen to it. We are just doing our things. We know what we are capable of, and that's the only thing that matters to us. And like I really like that we need people talking about teams, about everything, but us as players, I think we should be able to ignore all of this and just focus on ourselves, and that's what we're doing, Joel. So what people say, we always go next, and we don't really care.
Love that.
Itachi, bro, talk to me and educate the people. How was the transition going from Karmine to Gentlemates? Like how did that process work for you? And then also the second part would be what did y'all do in the past month? Like what did y'all look at? What type of practice were y'all doing to get ready for the major? I mean, y'all were good, but then you were like ridiculously great and so consistent. So like what that process looked like?
Yeah, like my move from KC, obviously we had an amazing season, like one of the best season I think last year. And
Mhm.
yeah, we had the roster change. A lot of things happened. Like I don't really want to get into it again,
Mhm.
but yeah, thing happened, and I managed to found this amazing project with Gentlemates and with those teammates, and like as always, which whatever team I'm in, I'm just always going to work hard and try to improve every time. And yeah, about what was the second question? Sorry.
Well, what was y'all's preparation like
Oh yeah.
over the past month?
To be honest, we changed a lot of things about our playstyle. Like I think we ran are all the same team, the three regionals. Then in the major, we completely switched our playstyle. We played a whole different game, and to be able to do it well, we just to be honest, we were really serious in pracs. We always question ourselves every day, and to be honest, I'm really happy to see that our new way of playing is working, and I just hope we can continue. But yeah, the main focus was on just being serious. We knew we had a lot of things to a lot of things to fix for all the mistakes we did in the split, and yeah, really happy that we did it well.
Tachi, I got a question, bro. So against Karmine Corp, I think you elevated your play. Like it just seemed like a different you. I said it before. I think I called you Prime Monkey Moon when you were playing against them. To me, it just seemed like you kind of knew how they were gonna play and how they came out. Did you have like? Was there an extra chip on your shoulder playing against Vatira? Like, did you feel like some sort of like I have to beat him, or just you had a different mindset? Like, talk to me through that series.
But in this series, not at all. Like we just for us, it's just a team like another one, and we obviously we know how they play. We scream them every week. We play them in tournaments. We know how they play, and they know how we play. So in game, we are just playing against the team. We don't really see the names, but now outside of the game, to be honest, like I don't know if you are really in the French community, but Carmine and Gentlemates are really big organizations, and we
Mm-hmm.
really love banter, and like even I'm still friends with the people at Carmine Corp and everything, and we always like to joke each other, to banter each other about Rocket League, and obviously just playing against them, it's a match with a lot of pressure because we know that the two fan base are big and everyone wants to see their team winning. So obviously we have a heavy thing to carry, when you're playing those kinds of games, and yeah, like at the end when we finish the game, obviously it's we're a little bit more happier to win against Corp than any other teams because yeah, I was there in the past, and obviously it's always fun.
Yeah, that's
What
dope,
was
man.
what was it like in the like the moments or kind of like hours after the win? Did you get did Gotaga talk to you at all? Did you like get like what's it been like with like the Gentlemates team? Like how did they handle the win with you guys?
Um, like after the win of the major against just Carmine Corp.
Yeah, no, after you won the whole thing, like
Like with us, we had one of the three CEOs of Gentlemates who he was with us the entire land, and he did an amazing job of supporting us and helping us to be in good conditions. And yeah, after we just came together, we just celebrated. To be honest, we ate at the hotel. We just celebrated together, and yeah, we had the calls with all the people working for Gentlemates back in Paris. It was just like when we win something big, you just celebrate by calling everyone and being happy together. Like it was
I want.
Mm.
I want to ask young Itachi. See, I got plenty of stories. 'Cause I talk to all the French players all the time. People don't know that, but I'll be talking to French players all the time. And so I get back to the hotel and I got I got Alpha, and Alpha's always in my ear, just yapping. Okay, Alpha's always, him and Monkey Moon were just lurking. Who else was there? And Itachi walks up, and so, and in that conversation, I can't remember whether it's Alpha or whether it's you, Itachi, who brought up. Well, EU are gonna have 4 chances if you have 4 great teams, and you only have 1 or 2. So the odds are against you every single time, Bates. So, uh, so I want to know, like, what are your opinions on the rest of the world right now, Itachi? You think they looking pretty good in comparison to Europe, or they still got a little ways to go?
Yeah, what's the view like from the top?
Now, for me, Europe is far ahead of the rest of the. Like maybe for me, like there's G2 who is really really good. There is like Falcons, for example, really good. But to be honest, all the other teams for me have a lot of they have how can I say it, like
A lot of work to do.
yeah, exactly, a lot of work to do. For me, like they just lack of consistency. They lack of a lot of things that for me Europe has, and yeah, like for me there is always one big team in each region that can be really annoying, like Furia, Falcons, or G2. But for me, that's pretty much it. You know, when we see the other teams, like if everything is if for example, if the top 4, top 5 team in Europe plays them, for me they should win on paper.
Oh
Why
no,
is that?
wait. Oh, go ahead.
Why do you think that is, Itachi?
Uh, I I don't know the reason. It's just been like 2 or 3 years. Maybe Europe works harder than other regions. Maybe they see the game differently. I don't know. But like maybe just the way of seeing the game, seeing how you should be as player, as a team is different in Europe. I don't know, because I don't really know how NA works, you know, to be honest. But yeah, it's just been 2 or 3 years that the dominance is we can clearly see it. So yeah, I don't know the main reason, but
Yeah, because let me add a little bit more, because they're trying to get me to stop picking NA. They're like, Bates, when are you gonna see? When are you gonna see that it's just not gonna happen? So yeah, they love messing with Raul. You had a question for him, bro.
I can see. That.
Yeah, I didn't hear you mention Gen G. I wanted to ask which team was harder to play against, Gen G or G2.
now for me, G2, even though Gen G the series went to Game 7, it was closer. But for me, G2 is a better team. Like when we scream them and playing them, but not when Gen G is also a good team. Like I said, only G2, but Gen G showed really good things. Less in Swiss, like they struggled a bit in Swiss, but against us in quarterfinals, they woke up. They play a bit better. But as I said, I think it's a lack of consistency. You know, G2 showed they are consistent, but Gen G for me, they can play well, but sometimes you can see them playing bad. So yeah,
Okay.
for me, G2 is better.
How is it playing underneath Eversax, man? How is it? 2 years with them now, different teams, different rosters. How is it? How is it playing with that man as your coach?
Now Eversax is like before even being my coach, like he's a really really good friend of mine since a really really long time now. And even like I brought him to Karmine Corp when I was struggling 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago. And yeah, he proved, he showed his value as a coach. And to be honest, he's doing a really really good job. We had exactly the same view of how a team should work, how a team can perform. And it's working so far. Like with different rosters, we prove that we are working the right way, and we're headed to the right direction. So Eversax is really doing a good job at just managing a team, um, and just make a team work well together. Like.
Okay. I mean, you could definitely see like Eversax's impact on the team. I don't think there's really a question about that. But let's jump into some questions from the community here. We've been able to talk to the community. We asked people exactly, if they had questions for you specifically, Itachi. This one's from Arsenal, who we've been kind of hearing a little bit in and out throughout the stream. He asked you, Itachi, what do you focus on in scrims, and how do they differ from tournament?
Uh, I don't really want to get too much in details, you know.
RC's like, please tell me. Please.
But not to be honest, we are. I think it's just the off season was really long, and now it's been since the start of the off season until now. It's been like 8 months, and I think the most important thing we did was to be serious the whole time, to take every scrim seriously, to take every individual training seriously, to put all the chances in our side. And but yeah, in scrims, what we work on, I don't really want to say it out loud, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the main thing is that, you know, like just being serious and just work hard. To be honest, that's it.
That's a good answer. Thank you, Arsenal, for the question. The next one is coming up from Matt. Matt the Waffle says, you mentioned in an interview that you worked to change your play style. What would you say are the biggest changes that you made? Without saying too much.
He ain't gonna answer that one
Yeah, he said same thing.
He said same thing.
The thing I could say it, but I'm just like this. I like to put all the chances in my side. So by that, I just don't want to say anything. Even though it could or could not make any difference, but I just don't want to say anything just to be sure, to keep it for ourselves.
That is fair. That is fair. Sorry, Matt. Next one is from Vince. Vince said, what felt different about getting this major win with Gentlemates than you getting a major win with Karmine Corp last season? Also, congrats on being a 2-time land winner. Go.
Thank you first. And now the first one was it's two different feelings, because the first one, it was my first ever major win, so it was like I was really happy. Like it's a feeling that I will never forget. I even cried on stage, because it was one of my dreams to, like, I'm playing at pro Rocket League level, to win those kind of tournaments. That's what I aim for. And but yeah, this one, it was like the same happiness, but like, to be honest, I for the last one, Karmine Cup, I did a mistake. Was like, when I won it, I started working a less better. You know, like I was starting to like when we won, we permitted ourselves to take breaks, to just work less, and it paid. Like Vitality came strong with Zen, and they won everything, and they came ahead of us. And this time, to be honest, I just learned from it. And for example, we won. It's amazing, but we take a small break, and we just want to get back to work. Like I'm already thinking of what's next, and the season is not over. We still have a second major regionals to play in the Worlds, which is the biggest goal of the season. So, like, even though we won this major, it's big, but it's really not what we aim for. Like, we're aiming for Worlds, we're aiming for everything.
That's a great
That's
answer.
that
I like
maturation
that.
right there.
Yes,
That's
sir.
dangerous. That boy
Yep.
said, hold on, I'm still hungry. I gotta give me a big ring on. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. He in his
Speaking
Jordan
of-
mode.
Speaking of a maturation, let's take a look at our next question. This one is from Stumpy. What do you think of T-Base describing Gentlemates' achievement of defeating Vitality in Open Qualifier 1 as the floater from Heaven squad?
I don't get it. What does he mean by the floor? You need to explain.
Well, okay. So, remember against Vitality in Open Qualifier 1, y'all were down, and then y'all had y'all had the greatest. I'm gonna call it lucky. A very lucky kickoff goal that floated all the way from outside, all the way right underneath the crossbar. I say, listen, that was a gift from heaven right there. That was a gift from heaven, yeah. Listen, I mean, at that point, that's why then y'all beat Vitality in overtime, and then the rest is history. So that's why I called you. I called y'all the floater from heaven all split.
Okay. Yeah, to be honest, it was really lucky. Like, we should have lost this series. But to be honest, the game before the game 7, the game 6, it was a really long overtime. I don't know if you remember. It was one of the most intense overtime of the split, and we should have won it. We had like 7, 8 chances to win that we completely threw. Vitality did amazing saves. Like, it was really close, and we lost it. And yeah, I felt like the game 7 was really lucky. Like, we could have lost it, and that's what's amazing about this game, is sometimes it's on your side and sometimes it's not. And this time it was on our side. Which one is Vitality, they deserve it. Like last season, when they did the perfect split, they had so many tournaments with so much luck at a lot of moments. Give me some luck as well. Like, come on. Just give me.
That's funny.
That's what I said to Alpha.
That's
on
what you said to
message after
Alpha?
the game. Yeah, we were talking, and I was like, "Please, bro, give me some luck as well. You can keep it for yourself."
What do you say back? I already know. He said, "What you mean? I already know." He probably acted like he was never lucky.
Exactly. Yeah. You know him.
I know.
All right. Next question we have is from No. No X. Who was the toughest team in the major to you, Itachi?
Toughest team for me. First, I have to say KC, to be honest. Like, I saw, for example, I saw Falcons playing amazing series this tournament, but against us when we played them, we like they played well, but I didn't find them like dominant or anything. But I saw them playing against KC and some teams, and they showed really good Rocket League. But from the teams that I played against, I would say KC because to us it's just an amazing team. They showed it in the three regionals. They're playing amazing Rocket League, and yeah, against us it was a really tough series, and yeah, I would say KC.
Okay, cool. We got a couple more fan questions for you. The next one is from Gon saying, "Who is the funniest between the four of you on your roster?"
Uh, good question. I would say, uh, like they're all funny, but they're not funny on purpose. You know, like they're just stupid, and their stupidity is funny. You know, we're all stupid in the gym, and it just makes it fun. But yeah, everyone, it's like we are just having good environment. Everyone is funny. That's what make it. That's what make it like make us enjoy the moment together. Like.
I love that. It's good to be able to have a good environment to be around your teammates and coach with. Really helps a lot on game day. We have one
Yeah.
last question though from Ultra. Ultra says, "What / who inspired you to pursue a career in Rocket League, and how did that help motivate you to keep going through the hard times in your career?"
To be honest, at the start when I was young, I just saw the game on YouTube, the first videos of the game coming out, and then I immediately loved the game and wanted to play it. And since I started, I never stopped. And since I was getting better and better, I started meeting the best player of the games, that are still my friends right now. Like for a long time, I just played with all the legends of the game, like WaveyP, K-Dub, all the Frenchies, like the big French, like Chaussette, for example. They're really close friends to me, even like to today. Like and I just kept playing. I kept being motivated. I was stuck in Morocco. I don't know if everyone knows the story, but for a long time I couldn't play World CS because I wasn't an European resident. So I just kept playing from Morocco in ranked, and seeing all my friends playing at the highest level motivated me a lot. And one day, with the help of my family, I could move to Europe and finally play on RLCS. And when I got the chance, I just never stopped. I know the opportunity that I have, and I just took it. And I'm just working hard and to be able to pursue my career and do the best career possible.
That's solid. That's super solid. I mean,
Class act, man.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Itachi, thank you so much for being able to like join us today, being able to like talk and answer our questions as well as answer some questions from the fans. Before we, let you go to, enjoy your time before the next split starts, is there anything you want to say to like any of the fans, anybody who supports you?
Uh, yeah, of course. Like, thank you so much for the support. Like, to be honest, since the start, I received a lot of messages from after every tournament that I play, everything like to give me support, everything, and I'm really thankful for that. Like, I'm happy to see that a lot of people are happy to see me play, to see my team play and perform, and are impacted when we win and when we lose. It's what makes esport and sports really enjoyable. And yeah, just thank you very much to everyone who supports me, and that's it.
That's it. Itachi, thank you so much for joining us on First Touch.
Thank
We
you.
Appreciate
appreciate
it,
it.
brother.
And congratulations again on your major win.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.
Congrats, bro. Have a good night.
Thank you.
That was Itachi. That was great. It's so
Mm.
good to be able to sit there. This is his first time on First Touch, and it was really nice to be able to be able to chat with them guys for a little bit. So I appreciated that. Appreciate
Yeah.
everything
Very
he had to
very
say.
professional. Very
Very
professional, very
professional.
kind, but keeping his secrets close to the chest. I like that.
You can't
Yeah.
give them away for free, man.
Nope.
He wasn't
Ah.
he wasn't going with it. And you know, it dawned on me too when he was talking about his first major win. I was like, what is his first major win? It was the San Diego win with Karmine Corp.
How you forget that?
Because well,
Bro.
it clicked. It finally clicked that like I was like, wait, I've casted both of his wins. Like
Yeah,
Oh, you
sure
have?
grand final was. Yeah,
Look
I
at
have.
that.
So
Yeah, he's gonna be asking for you every time.
uh-oh. Listen, I can do a couple more. Yeah, a couple more.
Are you okay, bro? Put your
I'm
glasses
great.
down, please.
I'm absolutely ecstatic. Okay.
Okay,
For those of you who
interesting.
answer questions, again, thank you guys for submitting your questions and to be featured on the show. I think we really appreciate you guys being able to give your voice, and most of you have really great
I will say something to that.
questions. What's up?
Okay, if you submit, ask a question, but you're not following the First Touch RL Twitter, you're not gonna get on. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. So when I'm going through the process of checking all of them and I see people aren't following, listen, your question's not gonna show up on the stream. I can let you know that right now. So you better hit that fucking button.
All right. Yeah, he's absolutely right, though. He's absolutely right. So make sure you guys are following First Touch RL when you guys submit your questions. We got more stuff though from the fans that we're going to talk about here as well, and it's going to be about key takeaways. What was the biggest takeaway from the major? Copenhagen was full of surprises across the board. I want to see what the community thought before we get into ours. So, can we start with these community tweets, Ben? What do we have here first? Bop. Not only is NA back, Mina and Sam look better than ever and can easily win a LAN this season. Eye emoji.
I don't know about easily because I don't think anything's gonna be easy this season. Looking at the lineups, the top 8 was as close as it's ever gonna be, but I don't know about as close as it's ever gonna be. Rocket League's only elevating at this point, but yeah, I agree to some extent. Like Mina and Sam look a lot better than ever, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he's tripping with the easily, but I
I don't know how you get more competitive than this top 8. Like it's like there's literally not a single bad matchup. You could shuffle all the teams in the top 8 and put them in any order, and it's going to be crazy bangers all the way down. I agree with him though that like not only is NA back, I think that was probably that was the first thing that popped in my mind when you said it right now was like G2's for real. Gen G's for real too. Like it was there was the question in my mind of like, are we going to show up to lane and just fall flat on our faces because Europe's just that much better? And I was very glad that was the answer was no.
No. Let's see what we got next here. This is from Speed Bump X6. The combination of player/caster talent with the format promoting upsets provides the most entertainment I have seen in a LAN in the last few years. I mean, I would say, especially on the entertainment factor. I mean, it's weird when you're like there, but I think
Yeah.
like especially from like looking back and looking at the watch parties that a lot of people saw, it did seem really like it reminded me of Sweden a long time ago, where like the watch parties were bumping, everybody like had their kind of favorites, and then the matches, the upsets were really providing a lot of like content in that aspect. I mean, what do you think, Ro?
No, I think the elevation of the gameplay was insane to witness. I think this is, I like I said, moving forward, we're gonna just see higher gameplay throughout the time, and you guys obviously killed it on the cast. Like I think even the matches that weren't as hyped up were still executed like really well by the casters to elevate the intensity throughout the match as well. So I do agree with them. Like the entertainment factor for this LAN was incredible. Like even some of the matches where I was like, all right, maybe it's not gonna be as hyped up, was still kind of hype, like watching it. So
Now, you know what's crazy? I was talking to Cole after this because we did that First Touch pre-show, and we had a chant off between three of the orgs: Vitality, Karmine Corp, and Gentlemates. And you could tell, like, especially for someone like Cole and Reddles, who probably hadn't like sat through that before, it was distracting to like a level. Like they were all like it was almost as if they were kind of coordinating with each other because they would take turns like in the chant. Like K-Corp would point to the gentleman, the green suits, they'd be like, all right, it's your turn. And then they would go back and forth. And when we were talking through it, like we definitely tried to, I would say, bring it up, like, wow, yeah, like these guys are really getting it going. But then we got to keep going because we have our topics to talk about during the show. But you could tell, like, it was very hard to ignore just even like the level of energy that was coming from the crowd there too. So
I don't know.
nah, I really liked it.
Bates, I don't know how you felt about this. This was the first event. I tweeted about this after the event that like this was the first event where the ultras kind of felt normal, where it wasn't. We had them in Rotterdam, and then we had them at Worlds, and then we had them again here in Copenhagen. And this was the first time I was like, okay, I got to do my job. I can't. This isn't a moment. This isn't like, wow, folks, let's just take a step back from doing analysis and just acknowledge how great these fans are being right now. We did that in Rotterdam. We did that at Worlds. And this time it's like, this is just how Rocket League is now. There's just going to be these massive sections of writhing fans. And it is a thing, like when you're on the desk there, like trying to do your job is there's all of like these warring fans is a very new dynamic that nothing can prepare you for.
Yeah, it's nice. It's cool. It's like college game day-ish in a way
Yeah.
where it's just like super fans of teams. That's why the desk needs to be in positions where you can see them. Where you can see them, where they're just behind us, so we can just work while they're just doing crazy stuff. It's cool though. I think the arena definitely played a factor in how loud they got because it was a little smaller arena, so the sound had less to travel, less space to travel. Of course, all the really engineer-esque people can really explain that. I don't really know about all that, but in general, I know smaller space, sound travels less, louder. So, and
Yep.
I think that played a big factor into it. So it's pretty fun having them all there, and it's gonna be interesting because the World Championship, I don't know how far they traveled. I don't know if they're gonna travel to America, so it's gonna be a while. Cause we're gonna get it in London, I'm assuming, and then I wonder what's gonna happen in Dickies Arena in Fort Worth.
Bro,
So.
London better be medieval times. They better be just like Vitality, Karmine Corp, Gentlemates, Furia. Like just give me those like colored sections around as two of them get loud as their teams play each other. Oh my god, it'd be so cool.
That'd be dope. Let's take a look at our next tweet. This one is from Alex saying that it doesn't matter. His biggest takeaway is that it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you practice hard and play hard, you can be among the best in the world.
I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Alex, give me that motivation. You just gotta put your head down and be great. That's all it is, and that goes for life. That's a life thing. Doesn't matter who you are. Some people aren't born with some exoteric, intrinsic form of greatness. They just put their head down and they work hard to get what they want. And if you're a good person, good things come back to you. See Itachi, man. You see how much he worked. You see how long he had to wait. He's from Morocco. He had to wait. He had to watch all his friends succeed. Then he got the opportunity to move to France. He was ready, and now he's a 2-time major champion. How many of our RLCS players are 2-time major champions? Not many. Not many. So, and he's also just a great person in general. So I like that. I like that a lot. That's just a good motivational tweet for the people at home.
It's that Richard Sherman energy. He's like, I wasn't good at football. I just practiced more than everybody else. I had to overcome that. It is the truth. If you practice well, there's a difference between just booting up Rocket League for 10 hours a day and actually practicing hard for 2 hours a day. There's very, very different things. And one can feel like you're being more productive than the other. But yeah, if you put your mind to it and actually put the work in, get up there.
That's true. That goes with anything too, for the most part. Just it's all about what you put into it, why you doing it. What you put in, you'll get back. That's for sure. So I appreciate that. Good tweet, Alex. Next one is from, I think this is Fixie, saying this was one of the most competitive majors we've seen in RLCS, and G2 made NA proud, but realistically speaking, NA as a quote unquote major region should not be okay with having two teams that can compete.
Well, I don't know if is anyone okay with that?
I mean, I think it's valid to say that. I don't.
Yeah.
I think it's really valid to say that. I think NA has a lot to do. We always talk about how differently NA plays compared to EU and the rest of the world, honestly speaking. But I do think there's a huge shift that needs to happen in North America. Just having two teams it's okay. I think it's fine, because like when BDS was the only team in Europe winning everything, they were the only team that we could see in Europe that was actually going to win an event, but they were the best team in the world. So I think it would be okay if G2 was that, but G2 is not that. So with the elevation of gameplay just being higher and higher over time, I think we need more teams from North America to compete.
Now we need all 4 able to win.
Yeah.
Anything less is a travesty, and that's just how I view all the regions. OCE, I guess I'll give OCE a little bit of a pass. OCE needs 2 teams that can make top 8. That's why I feel like it changes based on the region. APAC at some point they're gonna need a team that can compete for top 12, top 8. SSA, they're gonna have a long time, so that's a project that's in the works. Sam, they need 2 teams that can win. I think they have 1 team that can win at the moment, and then complexity with all these rumors, of course, rumors about the strange rosters. Maybe they'll have 2 teams, but I think they should have 2 teams that should be able to win. MENA, I think they should be at least have 1 team that can win. The other team needs to be really contending for top 8, if not higher. And NA needs all 4 to be able to win. EU has all 4 that can win. That's just how it should be. The majors should have 12 teams going in right now that are all competitive. And at the moment, I don't necessarily know if that's the case just yet.
I was happy with how things went for LG. Honestly, like it was. They were so close. They were so close there at the end of round 5 to being in top 8. And my goodness, what an accomplishment that would have been. And you look at complexity as well. Like I don't know, they're just a little thing here and there. They go to game 5 against Karmine Corp. And then they have to play Gen G and Vitality and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like it's like only 8 teams can be in top 8. And you can't look at the teams that didn't make it and be like, well, you can't compete. Like if you got 12 teams that can compete in top 8, you're still going to have 8 of them get to top 8. So like, I feel like complexity and luminosity could probably hold their heads high that they represented their region well, given that there literally isn't space for all of the teams to have all of their teams, or all the regions have all their teams make it.
Well, and they just have to pick it up then and can start getting some more space. Luminosity, I mean, it was their first land together with Cheese. So I mean, give them a little bit of pass right there. They're getting better, but I mean, their expectation going into next time should be top 8 men. It should be a top 8 men. If you're in any team, you should be trying to get that top 8, bro.
Let's take a look at our next tweet then, because it's kind of relevant to the topic here. Next tweet is from Luminosity Gaming Rocket League fan. And Luminosity is a top 10 team in the world. Thoughts?
Facts.
Yep.
I mean, mathematically.
Yeah.
It was funny to me when Shogun was casting Vitality versus Luminosity at the end, and like the final game happens and Vitality wins, and it was a good match, and they're kind of celebrating. He's like, a lot of teams, a lot of people had Luminosity like top 12 in the world coming into this event. Clearly, they've shown that they're more than that. I'm like, well, not really. That's we kind of nailed it. They were right there, like top 10, top 12, 11.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah, I tweeted it. Like I felt like they could have won that series. They could have won that series. They could have won that series. They could have been in top 8, and then you would have had them play against Fury, and Fury probably would have won that. I don't know if Fury. I don't know.
No, wouldn't they have played against Gentlemates?
No.
Yeah, they would have been the last seed. No, they would have been. Luminosity would have been the last seed.
Oh yeah. Well, then you would have had definitely a guarantee in a top 4 at that point. That's crazy. Either way, it still would have been a big window to take down Vitality, and the Vitality came through to the quarterfinals, made to the semis. But
imagine Vitality not make it top 8. Imagine the world champs like going out in Swiss.
Yeah, the NA3 seed. Yeah. That would have been crazy.
Zen just wasn't in crowd mode yet. That was the reason. Once he activated crowd mode, it was different. I mean, he was always balling out, so maybe it was Rado wasn't in crowd mode yet.
Oh, it was definitely Rado.
And then Zen just upped it to a whole nother level once he was in a crowd mode too. So I mean, they just elevate when the crowd's behind them. I don't know.
They did. That again, that was our last tweet. Of course, again, follow at First Touch RL. Keep eyes on it so you could potentially have your tweet being featured on the show, and then maybe you can clip it and put it on Twitter for impressions, like I know Bob probably did already. That being said, what was your guys' biggest takeaway from the major?
That I know what I'm talking about.
Oh gosh.
Nah, I mean,
you were battling the coin, bro.
See, people get mad at me about my like that whole prediction thing. Y'all gotta understand though. I was losing one because I have faith in NA and stuff, And then 2, like 7 of my predictions, or like 7 or so of my predictions were all game 7 or game 5 losses when everybody else is picking the favorite.
They
So
still lost,
basically,
though.
look, no, bro, it's a prediction
L is
contest
an
that nobody
L.
cares about. And nobody cares. So
You don't care because it doesn't fit your narrative. But if you were number 1, I bet you would be boasting about it right now.
anybody can get number
Ooh.
1 in that stuff, bro. I don't care about that, bro. It's a prediction contest. It's a
Okay,
prediction. I like prediction contests when people take risks. If you're just picking a favorite every single time, then who cares, bro? You can get a computer to go do that. The computer can pick the favorite every single time. Go get some AI mechanic, go do that, man. That's not that difficult. That's not that difficult, bro. My biggest takeaway is that it's an international game, man. It's an international game. I like it.
I cared about being number 1. Daz, did you care about being number 1?
Not really. To be
No?
honest,
Okay,
not
just me.
really. I think like day 1 or like day 1. No, not even day 1, because day 1 I picked Furia in that one matchup against Vitality. Well, no, I
You
did
thought
kinda
Fury
believe
was
that.
gonna win though.
Yeah, I
Stop
did
playing.
kind of believe that. I
Stop
did kind of
playing.
but
Yeah.
when I switched with the LG versus Complexity, that was me like at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, let me have some fun, man. Because like, yeah, it's just so much like it's so much funner when you pick like an underdog team and the underdog team wins, and you'd be like, like yeah, I have faith in them or whatever. Especially when you know like things that are behind it. But I think in terms of predicting Rocket League matches, it's not too difficult to figure out which team's the favorite going in. And you'd like to be fair for a lot of people, you could like the favorites would win. The only time they didn't was in the case of Gentlemates, when Gentlemates just pulled up and started winning. Because I have the list here, I have the sheet up right now. I'm looking at the sheet. Nobody predicted Gentlemates in any of their matches until the final day. And even on the final day,
The final
people
day
were
is
still
fraudulent.
picking Karmine Corp. People were
Yeah.
still picking, and then when it was just finally like grand finals, there was still a little bit of divide between the two. But then again, people are at this point were just metagaming. So so yeah, you know, like I think it was fun. I think it was fun. I don't think it was too deep. At least not for me. I like to answer the question. No, I didn't take it too deep. I enjoyed more of being able to have fun, just kind of picking the underdogs and just kind of see what happens, or just like picking a team, like going all NA. Like definitely after day 1, I was all NA because it was just fun, more fun for me. So that ain't what it is.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, but let's break some things down. Let's talk about Karmine Corp. The blue wall falls in Denmark. Karmine Corp loses to Gentlemates in game 7. Let's show the highlights here.
as well, which is why when Itachi said that they're the best competition, it's actually interesting to me. That just shows, I think, how good they are, how good Karmine Corp is, I should say, because even in fact when they're really not playing their best Rock League, they're still just that good. I think that was my biggest takeaway from them, though. It's just they really didn't play consistent all the entire time.
It says something when Vatira is the player you're looking to step up on your roster. That just like the level of play you're getting out of Rise and Atao here. Like, I mean, Atao is the player that I think commonly everybody looked at, and just by name, they'd be like, well, he's probably the weak link here, and then they're talking about like Atao defense or whatever, and like, no, Atao had an absolute career tournament here, maybe leading the team as far as just individual consistency. What is this goal? That was crazy.
That was that Karmine special. That's when they scored 1, 2, 33 seconds left. You thought they have a chance. You thought it was gonna be wrapped.
Oh yeah, and this is the kickoff. The kickoff goal. That like, think about it. They don't let the kickoff goal in. How does that change everything? Like, the multiverse, fractals.
Wait, hold on.
Crazy.
Hold on. Listen, I know we talked about Karmine Corp, but we got a hater in the chat. Mr. Johnny Boy is coming into the chat.
Johnny.
All caps. LOL. Imagine coping about prediction contest. LOL. Bates thought he was picky favorites. Just changed his tune after seeing skill diff. If NA win, it would be we know ball. But since NA loses, it's just we pick for fun. LMAO.
Johnny, you tied for like middle of the pack with me. Okay, like the only reason you're not on bottom line is because your name starts with a J and mine starts with a W. So let's be real here.
Listen, nobody needs to listen
nothing but facts.
No, nobody needs to listen to Johnny right now. Okay, his top 10 list is still very fraudulent. When we get into the FT top 10, we'll show him what a real top 10 looks like. His list makes absolutely no sense. Tomorrow, roll to the next question though.
He said, "I beat you, WavePunk." All right, next question. Next question here is about Karmine Corp. Will we ever see another perfect split in RLCS?
All right, I can answer the question right now for you. No.
Okay.
It's not happening. It's not happening ever again.
Never?
I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's possible. I don't know, man. It's simply too difficult. The odds are not in your favor. First off, we got to be realistic here. Are we ever gonna see a team win all 3 regionals again in EU? I think Karmine they did this time around, but once again, they did it in an interesting fashion. You're talking about reverse sweep BDS in the first qualifier. Then the second qualifier, what happened in the second qualifier? They had something in what they went in the second qualifier. Like it was a lot of just very fortunate happenings that kept occurring for them to get to that perfect qualifier run. This time, and it's just as the competition gets better, you assuming Oxygen might make a roster change maybe, or they're just gonna get better in general. You're assuming whoever team Chronic gonna go play for, they're gonna be a good team. Still gonna have Magnifico. We still gonna have all four EU teams that were at the major competing. What are the odds that one of those teams win all 3 of those qualifiers again, man? I just don't find it to be high. And then when you go to the major and with the consolidation of talent, you got to beat everybody, bro. You got to look at Gentlemates run, man. Gentlemates run, they beat everybody. Karmine will have to beat everybody too. Karmine, they had to beat Falcons. Skate by against Falcons. Honestly, probably should have lost that series against Falcons. I think Falcons played better than them that series. Then they played Gentlemates. They got up in the series against Gentlemates, but they started off slow. Then if they beat Gentlemates, they'd have to beat G2. Now they beat G2. Like, you gotta beat everybody, bro. So
I think this take is completely hindsight, man. Because we went into this, it's completely hindsight. We went into this whole split claiming that Karmine Corp is the best team in the world on paper. They came out, they proved it during the split. Going to land. Okay, we understand. You know everything in this game. Going into the land, everybody predicting Karmine Corp again to win this. Okay, I said previously we understand. You know you got the cards, Bates. You got the cards to the script.
Appreciate that.
Everybody else seemingly who's underneath Bates knows that Karmine or is predicting Karmine Corp to actually win the land pretty convincingly. Since everybody's predicting them and they go in and they don't have this performance.
You know I say that? Everybody else was wrong because
so were you.
Okay, whoa. I understand I didn't get the major champion correct, Damar.
That's
I was
right.
wrong about that. I was talking about in terms of everybody actually believing that there's this significant gap in between all these teams.
That's true.
Bro.
That's true.
I tried to let
true.
everybody know that this gap is non-existent. Now, Itachi and the French boys, I know they all still believe EU is way better. And listen, EU keeps winning. And I'll say that, and I'll say this. I'll say it to them and all the EU fans. And what I do agree with, I think, like I said, it was good. Alpha or touchdowns in my ear about this. EU, when they send 4 teams to that major, they have 4 chances to win.
Yep.
No other region can do that.
No.
So if you want to say that they're better because of that, then that's fine. I understand. But in terms of having good teams that can win the major, Furious gonna be really good. I think they're gonna get better. I think they had a hot Swiss, and I don't think that translated the bracket. That happens. Falcons are gonna get better. G2 is gonna be great. Gen G is gonna be great. You're really hoping somebody from NA that can join those two is gonna be great. You got all the EU teams. I cover our bases, and I also think that complexity is gonna pick it up as well. So you're going into every major, with like 8, 9 teams that can realistically win. Now, there's statistical differences between the two. Like I saw somewhere before, like there was like a 57% chance Karmine won the major. I found that to be completely asinine. I don't understand how that's possible. 57%, that's just disrespecting the rest of the world. But in general, I just find it's going to be hard, man. When Vitality did it, bro, how many teams could win that major last year in Boston, bro? Let's be real. Nobody from NA. We knew that. We knew that going in. That wasn't happening. That wasn't happening. Nobody from NA was going to win that land.
We just need AJG to hit that goal, and then everything changes. Then
that's another thing too.
Vitality doesn't even make it to the finals.
That's another thing too. But I mean, that type of stuff happens. But like I said, just take it into perspective. How many teams last year in Boston had a realistic chance of winning?
People thought Furia were contenders.
Man, stop that nonsense, bro. No, the people who don't know ball thought Fury were contenders, bro. They barely.
That's Johnny Boy's words.
Okay, I ain't even listen. Okay, Johnny Boy, listen. We all know his ball knowledge is suspect. He just so happens to be from the region that keeps winning.
Is Johnny the mama said of Rocket League? Well, Mama said that Fury had a chance. So you got
nobody actually believed that Fury had a chance of doing anything at that land, bro. So okay, let's give me how many teams had a real chance?
I mean, BDS definitely did.
Yep. Okay, that's one of them.
I put Gen G in the conversation.
All the teams that had a chance to come in from EU.
Like Gen G. Gen G was up there. They got knocked out by Vitality.
I think there's a gap between them.
I'm trying to remember.
Exactly. You can't remember. You can't remember. That shows you.
Yeah.
That shows you.
No, that shows you that I'm jet lagged and I've been thinking about one tournament for the whole day.
No, I don't want to hear that jet lag nonsense because you came onto this show and you started off on an 8-minute soliloquy about Gentlemates. So I don't want to hear that. You got energy. Your brain is clearly operated.
That was this tournament. I don't remember.
No, I'm talking about your energy right now. I don't want to hear about jet lag because you came onto the show with nothing but energy. I'm just saying that in every single land going forward, man, you're gonna have 8 teams that can win. Now, you might have a favorite, but you're going to have 8 teams that can win. I would say it's more likely that a team from NA completes the perfect split before an EU team. Because I think that NA has 2 really great teams right now. I think it's more likely. No, for real. I think it's more likely that, well, because you got, no. You're laughing, but you're not hearing me, bro.
No, I'm listening, bro. Keep going.
It makes sense, though.
No,
because
go ahead.
It's more likely for G2 or Gen G to win all 3 qualifiers than an EU team win all 3 qualifiers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I semi
I also think it's more likely for Falcons to do it than an EU team. But even then, and then once you get to the land, bro.
I see your point.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
I feel like the Falcons and a Furia are teams that can sweep the split and then come in and win a major.
Yes, yeah. But it's just highly unlikely. So I guess it could happen, but it's just highly unlikely. I think the percentage of it is going down. Whatever the percentage of it was last year, it's nowhere near the same now.
Yeah,
I think it's just highly unlikely.
Like, I think it would be a little bit definitely harder for it to be in North America and Europe, considering the level of competition. But it's pretty one-sided in Sam and Mina right now, and we know Falcons could pull up to London and win. Like, we know they could do that. So I feel like it's possible. I do feel like it is possible considering the current landscape right now, but definitely harder in regions like North America and Europe. Wave?
I was going to say that, like, given the current player base, like, if we're just like only thinking about the current players, I totally see Bates' point. All it takes is one more Zen to show up, and they're going to. It's just a matter of time before we have another phenom in some region show up, and who knows? We might see them rip the world apart again, and we all have to rebuild around them.
Valid. All right, let's talk about the Beacon of Hope. The Beacon of Hope. G2 loses 4-2 to Gentlemates in the grand final. First time G2 has made a land grand final since 21-22 Worlds. Let's roll the G2 Vitality highlights, man. We saw G2 show up. Look at it. Look at him. Atomic Beast Mode and Daniel, Zen, Alpha, Redosin, Job Security, Redosin. They were playing here in the best of 7 to see who could play Gentlemates in the finals. And G2 showed up and showed out. Bates, we'll start with you. How'd you feel about G2's performance?
Well, I mean, listen, the storylines of this series, they wrote themselves. You had Daniel versus Zen. That was number one. Everybody's been waiting to see that matchup, and it definitely didn't disappoint. Number two, you got G2 Stride, the team that formed because NA was lackluster. It was a super team, one of the first real true super teams NA's ever made, going up against the reigning world champions, trying to stop them on their land victory streak. That was another storyline. He also tried to see what Daniel can do with Beast Mode, with Atomic. Rado could keep balling. So many storylines in this series. It was a great one that came out to us, and it didn't disappoint going all the way to game number 7. I will say that G2, they needed this game 2 right here, and Daniel stepped up big when needed him the most. This game right here, 3 goals in the last 36 seconds. Daniel with his reset caught Zen by surprise. Zen, you better put a hand up because you're too slow right there. One of the few times a young man couldn't react, and then G2 scored right here. If they didn't win this game 2, they're not winning this series. Clutch from them. And it just really proved that they had a heart of a champion and that they're gonna be here for a very long time. But also the reigning world champs, man. This what took to beat them.
I never heard Bates use heart of a champion when describing a team ever in my life.
I mean, there's only one reason he ever said that, bro. He's got favoritism towards his team.
I'm not favoritizing anybody.
Okay, buddy. I think the storyline part that you said, Bates, the Daniel versus Zen, I think
You're
this
a hater,
is what
bro.
everybody.
I was listening.
No, listen. This is what everybody was saying going into this. Daniel versus Zen. I think it was Zen versus G2. And this was a really disappointing series from Redosin, especially. We talk about deadline rattle, job security, Redosin, whatever you want to call him. He didn't step up. He didn't show up this series, and I think that was the main catalyst. You saw Zen literally 1v3ing G2 on your screen right now, and that happened multiple times in this series. Redosin steps up even just
passing the ball
bit.
right there. How about that one?
Just a tiny bit.
But I mean, by
that point, he lost faith. By that point, he lost faith in his teammates. He just steps up a tiny bit. Look, again, Zen 1v3. We saw it multiple times.
That was bad defense.
That's the real storyline here. That's the real storyline right there.
Zen, the Alpha. It was a complete team. It was a complete team game, man. Listen, I will say that Zen was the best player on the field. Zen was the best player on the field in this series. I don't think that is arguable, but I will say that Rado and Alpha, they still came out the ball, man. It just took a complete effort. I think Beast Mode arguably probably played the best series of his life.
Team. They weren't the same team we saw previously. The series before, you think Vitality was the same exact roster against Furia? You think that Vitality squad we saw against Furia was the same level of team we saw against you? You're out of your mind, man. You're out of your mind, bro. You got some blinders on them glasses or something, because I don't know what you were watching. The eye test. You need to go back to the to the vision doctor and go get them checked out, because that was nowhere near the same team.
No, man. No, what I'll tell you is that Furia just didn't perform. Furia was definitely not on the same level as they were day 1 and day 2 of Swiss. That's where it occurred. Vitality has stepped it up from Swiss. I think them being tested by Luminosity made them go to bed, reflect on life, and come out ready to play the next day. I think that was a good, hard test to how much they need to work, how it's not going to be easy. And then the fact that they made it through Luminosity, I think that really pushed them. Furia really didn't get tested too much in the Swiss. They went 3-0, and that's what happens sometimes. When you go 3-0, it becomes a little questionable how you're going to come out. How you're going to come out, and you're going to be ready to go. Usually when you go 3-0, you're making it kind of easy for yourself, and they did. They kind of dominated. And then when they got tested by Vitality, they weren't ready to take the punch. So, I mean, Furia, that's why
I agree Furia didn't come out as nearly as strong, but to say that we saw the same level of Vitality against G2 is...
And then you got to think about it too, because Beast Mode was playing one of his best series of his life, man. Do you see how much he was utilizing that ceiling? He didn't do that against Gentlemates. That was the real question. He wasn't setting up. Every single setup was off the ceiling. He was making Vitality stretch. And you know how Rocket League players play, especially at the highest level. A lot of them set up a backboard, one sets up down low and net. He was utilizing the ceiling. He was utilizing all layers of the field, all aspects of it, to really make Vitality have to make a play. and that messed up Vitality. And I don't think they were ready. I don't think they were ready for that. And that was a great series, great game plan from Coach Staffy, or great gameplay from Beast Mode, whatever the case was. And that's exactly what happened, man. That's what happened. And regardless, it still went all the way to 7, bro. With the G2 playing that good. So it went all the way to 7. And it looked like Vitality was gonna win.
No, it went all the way to game 7 because of Zen.
His team.
Zen took over.
Oh boy.
I mean, he
Zen
did take
took
over.
over.
He took over. He took over.
It was literally LeBron James against the Golden State Warriors. That was actually LeBron James versus the Golden State Warriors. And you're smiling at me because you know it's true. You know it's true. He's like, oh, I can't back that up.
G2 the Warriors.
I mean, G2 are the Warriors, low key. But the G2 are the Warriors, low key. But, and I will say Zen was being LeBron, but I think Alpha was a solid Kyrie. I think Alpha was a solid Kyrie, man.
Kyrie not hitting some of his
But what
shots.
he said, what Raul was saying, his role, Radosa was JR.
Yeah, Radosa JR. Come on, man. Yeah, no, we actually
know what we talk about, man.
We actually had a
now I know. Now I know how the chat be feeling. Cause Wave's face and not laughing, he don't know what we talk about.
We actually had a saying.
If he knew what we were talking about, he'd be on the ground too. He'd be on the ground.
We actually had a saying during the series, during our watch party, blocked by Zen. Blocked by Zen. I don't know how many times we said that, but Astro was losing his mind, bro.
I mean, but that's how they play, though. That's how they play when they're the best. Remember, I told you when they came out in the qualifier after the first one, they had Zen playing so far up. I'm like, Zen shouldn't be first. He wasn't first last year. He was always third. He lets Rado go. He lets Alpha go.
Well, this again in that series, he was first, second, and third. The way he was playing, man.
Man, that man's a great player, man. He probably I'll say this. Zen, I think, played the best out of anybody at the lane. I think he did. I think he did. I do think that Alpha and Rado played decent. They played decent to good. I just think that G2 was just great. And they still almost won. You gotta think about that, man. Huh?
Out of anybody?
Yeah, I think he was the best player.
Yeah, he was the best player
the whole time.
I mean, to 1v3 a team that was in the finals.
That's valid.
Take him to game 7. I don't know.
All right, man. Look. We can argue about the level of competition all we want, but we got like 30 minutes left. I want to know, is NA in good hands moving forward? Gen G and G2 both finished in the top 8. When honestly, it was close. They were close. But how do we feel about the representatives we're sending? Because we're gonna go back. We got a little bit of a break. We're gonna come back home. Everybody's gonna get ready for the online again. Online open qualifiers are starting soon. Actually, yes, everyone. By the way, if you didn't know from Rocket League, central servers are out. And so the more people are going to be able to play, there's West servers, there's Central servers, and there's now East servers. So for better accuracy for the ping, whenever you guys are playing matches. Open qualifier number 4 deadline is Monday, April 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to, get your signups in. And I think there was a format change too, where all the matches for top 128 are going to be best of 5s now. So there's a little bit of
we got to play again, man. I know when we lost last time, you got a little annoyed.
Yeah, I'll give it another go, bro.
Good. Finally, your ego went down a little bit. About time. Maybe tomorrow play, but tomorrow don't play Rocket League. Go. So actually, no, you don't need to play. You don't need to play. We don't need you.
Tomorrow, how do you feel about NA's situation?
I think that. Okay, he's gonna go get some water. I think that NA is in an okay spot. I think that it definitely could be in a better spot. Now, of course. There's a lot of talks. I think OG lost and Comment tweeted SSG died for this. And then a lot of people are wondering, if SSG was in that position, would they have done better? I mean, I think it's a huge question, but I think for Luminosity, this was definitely a great land for them. And I think it kind of has solidified probably 3 NA teams at this point, because now Luminosity, they're definitely a game planning team and they're like a heavy, their mentality goes far for them. And for Cheese, that being his first land, for him to do that, they're going to come back home. And I do think that, we see Luminosity still fighting for those top spots again, and probably even doing better than what they were doing before. So I think it does come down to everybody else to really kind of level up in terms of those other spots. Maybe we see new teams form in the training window and have, some of the talent consolidated a little bit better to where things can be more more competitive. Not to say that they weren't competitive this time around, but you could clearly tell there was a gap between G2, Gen G, and then everybody else. And I think I would want to see that gap closed a lot more. That way, I would have a lot more confidence from NA top down going into the major. But that's just how I feel. Raul, what do you think?
I think NA is in good hands because on most human beings we have two hands, right? So two teams, one hand representing each team in North America. Yeah, NA is in good hands. G2 and Gen G, I think they represent the hands that we have, and yeah, we got some good hands right now.
Oh God. Okay. So Johnny said we are really stretching here to find an NA3. LG had 0 quality series wins.
He's not on the show, so I don't need to listen to his tweets. his
If
comments
we want
right
to keep
now.
on shouting Johnny out, we might as well just
All
pull
right.
him into the
Yeah,
Discord.
you might as well just put him. You might as well just put him on
box,
put him on the show at this point. If
That's right.
If you keep shouting him out.
We might. You're valid. You're valid.
He's just in there lurking to be in a menace. What I'll say is, I don't know, because that combo with Alpha and them boys after really resonated with me. He said they were saying they're like, Bates, we got 4 chances. Who do you have? You got one, because I don't know. Some rate Gen G, some don't rate Gen G. So some say G2, that's it. So you got 1 chance and we got 4. And I really do think that matters. So I want Luminosity to improve with this play. I want to see the grind. I think they got the game plan, but I need to see the improvement in mechanics. I need to see Luminosity become a legit contender. Legit contender as in, maybe you'll never get, I don't know, you don't have to be as good as G2, Gen G in terms of raw talent, but you can get gameplays wise to be a team that could get a top 4 or something like that.
Like
Yeah,
you would say, like clear top 4 finishes this split. Like online.
I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly what I'd be looking for, because Gentlemates didn't get like top 4 every single time. It's just matter of when whoever the 4 teams are that we send, all 4 of those teams are legit. Like legit teams that can get a top A and compete with the best of the best. Right now we got 2. Luminosity did compete with Vitality all the way, so they showed a flash. But I mean, I love the Luminosity boys. I wouldn't say they compete with them every single time, though. I would still say it's like a 70-30. I'm trying to 70-30, 75-25. I'm trying to get to 55-45.
I think we got to see teams outside of Gen G compete against G2. That's what we need, or just teams compete against Gen G.
Yeah, that's
as well.
another thing too. Because I think as well that it's fine today that G2 slaps everybody around, but then when like you want to see G2 get tested more, because you want to see what they do. And I think what Slater was talking about, where G2 is just an undisciplined team. I think they are. I think they just have ridiculous mechanics. And so when you play a team like Gentlemates, who on skill, I guess say skill, raw mechanical ability is not as good as G2, but they're just playing solid, consistent Rocket League. G2, how are you gonna adapt to that? Nobody from NA is gonna make G2 play like that. Gen G maybe guess a little bit. Nobody from NA is gonna make G2 do that. And if it's just gonna be Gen G, that's only one team though.
Mm-hmm.
So you need other teams to really push G2 in that aspect, push Gen G in those aspects. And have a really good 3-4. Really good 3-4. I think we got a good 3-4, but I want a really good 3-4.
I'm just waiting for the 3-4, whoever they're gonna be this split, to stop relying on mechanics. We gotta stop relying on mechanics. Like, you don't have to be as good as G2 mechanically or Gen G mechanically. Like, please take what these teams in EU are showing you, that you do not need mechanical. You don't need to focus and be a primary mechanical player to win in this game. You just need to have great team play and fundamentals need to be consistent. That's it.
If you got fast fundamentals, you'll beat mechanics most times. I think a lot of the teams there are teams in NA that try to rely on being like, all right, we're not going to be. I think LG is even a team that kind of to some degree is like, look, we're not going to beat G2 in mechanics, but let's play clean or creative Rocket League at least. But then they struggle with just not quite being fast enough. Just they land, they look at the ball, they turn, and the amount of time it takes them to do that is just notably slower than it takes for G2 to do it. So they're just losing 50s over and over again. And it's, I don't know. I might worry about the 3 and the 4. You were saying, Bates, I agree with Alpha's take. Like, they've got 4 shots at taking the title. We've got 2, maybe 1. I'm just wondering, like, I'm trying to, like, I kind of agree with Johnny. I'm trying to, like, look at the rest of the field in NA and be like, how do we put together a roster, 2 rosters that actually could genuinely take a title? Could it, like, I have a shot? Be like, yep, I could see it happening, right? Like, I love OG, but there wasn't any, I don't know if there was a single bracket in the world outside of people that worked for the organization that put OG winning that event, right? No one believed that they could do it. It would have been a bigger underdog story maybe than Gentlemates.
Most definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, we're not sending 4 teams. We're just sending 2, maybe 1. Do we really think that if LG and OG just go back to the grindstones right now and like really practice that, or even SSG, that like they could genuinely in London be a team that we're taking seriously as a team to be in the grand finals?
That's definitely valid. That's definitely valid. You know,
I think all days, and then just needs to work, man. So I want to say we're in good hands. I think we're okay. We're okay right now. We got 2 great teams. I want to see 2 more. We'll be in good hands when we got 4 like EU.
Fair, definitely fair. All right, we touched on this a little bit. Let's get into it right now. The region gap. Is there still a gap between Europe and the world? All 4 European teams made top 8. We've got Karmine, Corp, and Falcons highlights.
Means that much better than everybody else. I don't think anybody's really that much better than everybody else. I think it's just very fluid. It's gonna be very fluid list the rest of the year. Top 10s are gonna be changing like the Wazoo. That's why. Oh, great shot by Atto right there. But I think great shot by Finley right here to double touch after he missed 2 open nets. Brick, and then hit the double.
200th land goal.
What was I saying? Yeah, I think it's
gonna
very
be changing.
Yeah, top 10s are gonna be very fluid. That's why I like tier lists a little bit more than top 10s. I also tried to say there's a lot of S tier teams, but actually maybe I was incorrect with that. Maybe there's a whole bunch of A tier teams, and maybe there's no S tier team. Maybe that's what it is.
No, S tier is crazy.
And maybe that's what it is. So like I said, it's just very, very fluid, man. Very fluid at the moment, and it's just that's how it's gonna be.
I feel like there's a small gap, but I mean, when I look at the matches, I look at the series score, and we start getting into that territory where you think like there's no definitive strong wins in some of these series. Falcons going to game 7, Luminosity going to game 7. The only one that was really big was the Furia and Vitality matchup there, but everything really did go to the distance in champions on Saturday and Sunday. The G2 BDS was a big win, I think, especially with that 4-2 win because it gave more validity to NA in the conversation. But yeah, we do got to talk about it because everybody didn't think, people call it base delusional for thinking G2 was going to win the event, but then they made it to the finals. And then not only that, of course, with that win against BDS in 6, like that's huge for them going into Champions Field against Vitality, where the team has way more experience in that G2 roster in that type of situation, and then winning there is also big. So I do think like when you take a look at the context of a lot of these series, how they played out and what happened, it does go to show you that, yeah, EU top 4 is really, really strong and can set the pace. They can all win. Alpha's right in that aspect. But the other teams around the world, like Furia, or well, I would say Furia if they didn't have a bad crowd day. It could be different. Furia and Swiss was great. Um, Falcons, Gen G, G2, all of them still had a shot at the end of the day if things would have got rolling in their direction. So yeah, still a gap towards EU for the most part, but it's not like, I mean, things could change at the next major drastically. Drastically. Like, we were to run the next major tomorrow, it'd be a totally different scenario. Now, how things happen over the month with these online qualifiers could change that conversation up a little bit more, but we got to get there.
So you gotta not think about it too hard. If we reran Copenhagen just the next day, just like start the tournament over, different team wins probably. Don't think about it too hard. It makes it hurts my brain.
Okay.
I want to think about. I want this picture in the bottom corner down here. Are you like coaching G2? Like, are you on the team?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even pay attention to that. That's weird. It looked like
you and Sath, you looking over their shoulders. I was imagining you commentating like over their shoulders, just like, a Daniel goes up. Dale's like, stop, bro. Leave me alone.
No, I'm not coaching it, but that guy under me is. Coach Bates. It should have been his face there, not me. All right. Hopefully this doesn't hurt your brain as much. So let's get into first touch top 10. Post Copenhagen top 10. We've got the list here. Boy. Let's see what happened. Give me number 10. Who do we have at 10? Luminosity at 10. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Okay. LG at 10. What's number 9? Complexity at 9. All right. All right. What's at 8? Fury at 8. 7. Don't be Gen G. BDS at 7. Okay. Okay. And what's at 6? Vitality at 6. Interesting so far. Let's see. First touch top 5. Number 5. Gen G at 5. I'll take it. Number 4. Team Falcons at 4. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, this is starting to get a little uneasy. What's number 3? Karmine Corp at 3.
What? Yo, what?
Number 2.
I'm done, bro.
G2 at 2 and number 1.
Who is doing
Gentlemates
this?
What?
Bro, it's every week, man.
What's wrong with the list, though?
Oh, man.
What's wrong with the list?
Based on this
This is crazy.
Listen, this is my exact list. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah,
This is exactly what I put in.
Yo, Ben just took this and ran with it, bro.
No, this is a great list.
Ben, we gotta talk, bro.
This is a great list. What's wrong with the list?
You gotta put Bates' list on the top of this, bro.
Oh gosh.
What's wrong with the list? You got all these noises, but you haven't explained. Why? Okay, so explain why G2 can't be 2.
Because they didn't. First off, Karmine, top to bottom, looks like a better bro. Just because you get a finals in an event does not mean you're the second. Does not mean you're the second best team. It just doesn't. It just doesn't.
Okay. So just because they made the finals doesn't mean they're the second best team. So you think So you think Karmine would be number 2?
Yes, Karmine's number 2.
Okay, that's
Falcons
fine.
number 3.
Oh, where's G2 at?
G2 could be 4.
Okay, so I have a question for you then. So if G2 wins, where do they go?
If G2 wins,
yep.
Well, it depends on how convincing it is.
Oh, no. If they win, where do they go?
If they win, I still don't think they're the best team.
No, so where are they if they win? Say they win that game 6 and they win game 7. Where do they go?
Then they could be 2.
And so where does Gentlemates go?
Gentlemates is like 3.
So Karmine was still with you number 1?
Yep.
See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all don't know what y'all.
What do you mean?
I always feel like Johnny would say some nonsense like that too. It's a power ranking. It's a power ranking. So take apart all your little feelings and everything.
So then you're just rating them as they place. Like that's just a stupid.
No, that's not necessarily true.
Shouldn't even be
no,
4.
that's not necessarily true. Falcons at 4 is good. Falcons at 4 is good right there. That's a good placement. That's a good placement.
How?
Like I said, because it's hard to do. It's hard to do the top 10 right now. Because realistically, you could switch 1 through 8 in a way. You could do it well to an extent. You can to the extent like the top 5 could all it's kind of interchange. I can see Vitality at 5. I can see that. I can see Falcons at 6. I can see BDS at 5. I can see Fury at about 6 or about a 5. I can't see G2 at 4 though. I can't see that. I don't know how y'all are saying that. I think the lowest you can put G2 is 3. I can see Karmine at 2. I can even see Karmine at 1. I can still see people having Karmine at 1 and putting Gentlemates 2. I can see that too.
Yeah, I had G2 at 3 on my list. I had G2 at 3. I had Karmine over them. That's like probably the only difference maker there. But I think you gotta take the Vitality win. You gotta take the BDS win, and like those are some pretty big wins, man. And of course, I can't put Vitality over them because Vitality went 5 against LG. So
I think it's tough, man. I think it's tough. So if there was a tier list, well, what's your tier list then, Raul?
What do you mean?
What's your tier list?
What do you mean? What's my tier list?
Who would be an S team? Who would be an S tier?
I would put Karmine Corp, Falcons, and Mates.
So if G2 won, would they be an S tier?
If they won, sure. If they won convincingly, sure.
what? They have to win convincingly?
That's what I'm saying. And what if Falcons done to be an S tier?
What?
That's what I'm saying.
What?
That's insane.
I just think the level of gameplay that Falcons showed is higher than what I saw from G2, regardless of how far they went.
Is Karmine going to game 5 every single time, going down 2-0 in every single series?
Okay, we had a lackluster, an extreme lackluster performance from Vatira, and I think everybody could see that.
Okay, well that was on time landing. They went to game 5 almost every single time.
Yeah,
game 7.
I think Vatira
They didn't win
shows
anything
up and-
convincingly. If anything, they kept scraping by every single series. So why is that not being held against them?
I think if Vatira shows up, they don't scrape by, bro.
Now we're doing ifs. No, we're doing ifs.
Well, Vatira did not show up, and
Okay.
I don't know if you can say Vatira showed up. Can you say Vatira showed up? Did Vatira show up this land to you?
Oh no. He wasn't up to Bati standards.
Okay, so if Vatira shows up, I don't think we're having
Okay,
this
but I don't do ifs
conversation.
though. I do factuals.
You literally said if G2 wins. You said the sentence started with if. Like there's a whole segment is ifs based. What are you talking about?
No. That's different.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's different.
You got called out. No.
If this happened, how would I feel about that? They're like, well, this. Well, if this happened, Bates, how would you feel about it? It's like I don't do ifs. No.
No. Okay. Hey, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's all right. Well, I don't do all of this because my ifs were a little bit more valid. Because because what do you mean? Because he's talking about a player. I'm just talking about in general. Cause I wanted to figure out his top 10. I can see Vatira. I can see Karmine being number 1. I can see him being number 3. I think the lowest you got him is 3. But the G2 thing at number 4 or number 5 just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not seeing that. I'm not getting it. I don't understand.
Well, they didn't have to play Falcons in the bracket. They didn't have to play Karmine Corp in the bracket. So we'll never get those matchups. I don't think they pass either of them.
Gentlemates beat Falcons this week.
I don't think G2 beats Falcons or Karmine. I just don't see it happening.
Interesting.
That's why I have them at 4.
Okay. I hate to do the if, but let's say Gentlemates play Karmine Corp again. Do you have Gentlemates winning? They play best 7 right now.
No.
Okay. All right. I gotta think a little bit more about on
Yeah,
that.
I just think
genuinely have
Vatira
no
didn't show
idea.
up.
Well, what do you think about top 10?
I just
Wave.
What do I think about the top 3 or the top 4 there?
Top 10.
Yeah, my gut reaction was Vitality's low, but then everything else that got said about like how their Swiss results, like maybe it's fine. I think I do really agree with Raul that I don't see G2 beating Karmine or Falcons, and it's just it's Falcons' bad luck. They had to play Karmine twice.
There's nothing they can do, man. I think at this point, even NA fans are just depressed at this point, man. No, like, oh my
What
gosh.
do you mean we're
Oh my
impressed,
God.
bro? I'm
Because
just saying the game at what it is.
No.
I'm
just
not looking at
You
placement.
see, it's just over for NA, bro. Even the NA fans don't believe in NA players because at first I can give y'all. I just don't see a way G2 beats BDS. I'm not seeing it. And then they did. And then I just don't see a way they beat Vitality.
Oh.
And then they did.
Okay,
And
okay,
then
well,
and then they did. And then they did. So I mean, like at this point, I'm telling you, anybody can beat anybody at that level. So you can maneuver it around. But I just say, like, to say just don't see a way they can beat them. I can see them beating them. They might slap Karmine sloppy play over the weekend, bro. They might slap it.
Yeah, they could slap Karmine with Vatira not showing up. How many times are we gonna say Vatira did not show up to the game? Like I
don't like that. I don't like that.
I think Vati had his great moments.
if both of them, both teams are playing at the level that we expect them to play, they're not beating Karmine. They're just not beating Karmine.
What?
They're not
And that's
beating
why my
Karmine.
ifs are more relevant, and that's why they're more valid. Cause what kind of if was that?
What do you mean? What do you
We're
mean?
debating ifs.
Both teams that playing at the level we expect them to play, they're not beating Karmine. How is that not?
I don't even know, because in my estimation, if since you want to talk about your really ridiculous ifs, if both teams play their max potential, then I think G2 isn't touched by anybody in the game, because they're literally Golden State Warriors. You've seen what they can do. They literally start freestyling on kids.
But
No other team
basing
starts
this off of
freestyling.
mechanics. You're basing it off of
basing it on what I've seen.
mechanics.
We've seen G2. We see G2 where they're comfortable.
Well,
When G2's comfortable,
well,
they start pre-jumping from across the map.
Gentlemates just proved you don't need mechanics to win in this game.
Okay. They beat Karmine like that. What do you guys say?
This is why NA's behind, man. We overvalue mechanics, man.
I think it's a
G2
solid top 10, man. What was your top 10? Give us your top 10. What was yours?
Oh wait, it's on the thing. You can see it right here.
where?
Gentlemates, Karmine Corp, Falcons. He had Falcons at third. He had Genji at fourth. He had G2 at fifth. EDS, Vitality, Furia, Complexity, Luminosity. You had
Genji at fourth
over G2?
Over G2?
I think they played Gentlemates
Because they
better.
keep beating them. That's why.
They played Gentlemates better. And
Yeah,
they,
one
and, they,
game better.
and they beat G2.
Even Itachi disagreed with you with that. Itachi disagreed.
And they beat G2 in the tournament as well.
But they scrim G2 all the time. They got G2 figured out. That's a bad matchup for G2 now.
Now it's a bad matchup. They're not just better than them; it's a bad matchup.
I mean, who went further in the bracket?
G2's better, but it's a bad matchup for them, so they lose.
Yeah, that's what happens. It's all about matchups now in Rocket League, baby. Let us know what y'all think about the top 10, man. I do think that all the top 10s are hard. I do think that Johnny's and Rolls and anybody who has G2 lower than 3 is just absolutely wrong. I don't understand that, because I just heard from Raul, and I'd love to hear from other people. Because the explanation is just not going to hit. It's just not going to hit. There's no explaining how G2 is lower than 3.
In my opinion, I think top 8 besides top 2. Well, no, I think actually honestly like top 7. I'll do top 7 because everybody had Fury at 8. Top 7 is definitely hard to quantify, especially when you get into that top 5, because then you are kind of working on ifs, because you don't have the head-to-head information within those teams in there, so you can't really accurately put it in. So then you're just going based off of what you feel, which is where the discrepancy lies. But if we was doing a tier list, I'll put every team in the top 5, maybe even top 6 all together.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
so
how
it's either all
close
A
those
tier or
matches
all
were.
S tier. That's what I tried to tell him. We tried to tell him this weeks ago. They're either all A tier or all S tier. It's just that one S tier team might be a little better than other ones.
So then you would separate that one S tier.
Oh no. I feel like when you make no. When you make a difference in the tiers, that's the indication that team is significantly better in my eyes. Like, so the jump from A to S tier should be significant. If you're a little bit better than that team, then y'all should be on the same tier.
I don't know, man.
There's a very arbitrary point where they go from being good enough to being in their own tier, and it sounds like we're all drawing the line a little bit differently here about where that
That's
line
right.
exactly is.
That's exactly correct.
So some got a line, some got a curve, So
It looks like we hit our 2-hour block, unfortunately.
Yeah, we hit our 2-hour cable time block. Ladies and
that's why I
gentlemen,
signed
hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoy. We had some other topics, but I feel like we should save those for the next episode. So I think that's exactly what we will do. WaveyP, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
appreciate it.
I'm gonna go take a nap. I need it.
I'm taking that wave.
Take a nap. We'll play some games later. Bates, great show as always, gentlemen. Great show as always.
Oh, it's the last day to register for Series 1 of the Star Chaser Showdown.
Yeah.
Make sure you go check that on at Rocket League Esports. Last day to register. Go check that out. Go ahead and go sign up.
Yep, last day to register for series number 1. Again, all information on at RL Esports on Twitter. big shout outs to Ally and Star Chasers, and as well as Rocket League for being able to put that on. Now, of course, this is going to be it for us today on First Touch. So if you've enjoyed the show, be sure to drop follows here on everybody's handles that you see down below, as well as follow at First Touch RL on Twitter. So be sure to get all the updates there. And like we said, if you follow and we ask you guys for your opinions and questions, you will have a better chance of getting. Actually, that's the only chance you'll be able to get them on the shows if you follow. So make sure you do that. On behalf of all the staff to make this happen, thank you guys so much for all of your hard work. Thank you, Epic and Science, for all your help in making this show possible. And of course, everyone who showed up today here on the show and behind the scenes. And of course, big shout outs to Itachi for also being able to talk to us too for the time being. Absolutely phenomenal player. And congratulations to him and the rest of Gentlemates Alpine for Major 1 win. That's it for us today on First Touch. We'll catch you on the next one. 1, 2, toodaloo. See you guys.